Right, so the first thing that we're going to do is go through all the default keys that I've changed for my user preferences. I'm not saying that you need to change yours, but this is just so in case I push a button and it shows up here in my little corner and it doesn't do the same thing on your computer, this is why. So I'm going to bring up my user settings. So you can do that from the edit menu under preferences here, or you can hit F4 and just choose preferences in that context menu. So let's go through the ones that I change. I don't think I change anything in the interface rather than upscaling it so everything's a little bit bigger. The animation, this isn't going to affect anything that we do in the course, but I enable that, which means that we can scrub through to the negative frames here. I just find that more useful. And I also enable only insert available, and that's on my auto keyframing, although that's when we get to the animation part. That'll make more sense. Now with the navigation, I make sure that I orbit around selection and I disable this one. It's just personal preferences. I find it a little bit annoying when you jump out of a view and it changes from auto to perspective. I just want it to stay in the same perspective that I set it at. Here is the big changes that I make. So in the key map, under the top one, which is preferences, I'm using right-click select, which is the old school way of doing it, and in my opinion, much faster because you're separating selection from action. So if you see the hotkeys down the bottom, say right-click, it's going to probably be left-click for you. Another change that I make is the tools for my spacebar. I just find that more useful, and then I play the animation with Control tab, no, Alt tab, Alt space. I don't know. I'll get there. I've forgotten. This one I think I'll leave at default. This is a new setting which I don't know what it does. The tool keys, leave that at default. This is one that I change. It's just so that I can double press A and it will select and deselect everything. I can still deselect with Alt A if I wish. The accent or the tilde key, I've changed that to be the gizmos so that I can enable my rotation or my translation tools or whatever. And I think everything else here is default, except for this one here. Now, I would 100% recommend that this should be on by default, unless you're a modeler. Because if you're a modeler, all you need to do is jump from object mode to edit mode, and you can do that with the tab key. But if you wanted to jump to any other mode, by default, you have to push Control tab. But because of what I do, animation, rigging, and all those things, I need those other modes more frequently than I do edit mode. So I've reverse that functionality and enable tab for pie menu. So what does that do? That just means when I push tab, it's going to bring up this menu rather than Control tab. It's much faster for what I do. Okay, I think that is everything that I am going to change from default. And if you see anything that doesn't work or anything that works differently from the screencast keys down here, you know why. So just make sure that you watch this video. Of course, if you haven't watched this video, who am I talking to? Nobody. All right, let's get started.